Greetings, Father Joe here, your friendly neighborhood pastor, coming to you from St. Patrick's Church in lovely Highland Mills, New York. Today is the sixth Sunday in Ordinary Time. In our first reading from the book of the prophet Jeremiah, God tells us that we are cursed if we trust in men. Don't know if he says women as well. That's a joke. But that we need to trust in the Lord. In our second reading, St. Paul speaks to us about Jesus, who is the first fruits the first fruits of those who have died. In other words, he's risen and we are going to rise. Then in our gospel, we have St. Luke's version of the Beatitudes, which has benedictions, but it also has maledictions or curses, which is a literary technique used back in Jesus' time. At Mass today, I spoke about the Cardinal's Appeal, which we do every year at about this time. And I like the idea that St. Paul has that Jesus is the first fruits. The idea for Jews in Jesus' time was your offering to the Lord was not what was left at the end, but the first. So in other words, the best. And we're very fortunate here at St. Patrick's Church. We are by no means a rich parish, but since I've been here, and I believe before that, we have always made our goal to the Cardinal's Appeal. This year, our goal is $40,000, and we already have pledged almost a quarter of that, and people have paid their pledge already of over $7,000. So we're doing really well for our start. We are asking, I am asking as your pastor, I'm asking that everybody participate in this. Even if you can't give a big donation, just good to be part of this. It's the bigger church. Jesus is the first fruits. We are the body of Christ. And so we are called to share the gifts that God has given to us, and in that way to be more active members of the church. Then, after I finished that, I spoke about, and I apologize because this is going to be backward for you, but I'm not sure how else to do this. This is a graph of the priests that we have active priests in the Archdiocese of New York. All the way on this side, we have 2020, and in 2020 we had over 300 priests, which, by the way, is interesting because we have about 300 parishes. So we had roughly, the same number of active priests as we had parishes. However, by 2025, that number goes down to 265, well below the number of parishes. By 2030, that number goes all the way down to 233, and by 2035, which, by the way, is the year more or less when I will retire, that number is all the way down at 174. And I say this because our parish has always been very generous in helping out with collections and the Cardinal's Appeal and Renew and Rebuild. And I just want people to start thinking and praying over giving their time and their talent. As priests, we like to speak of time, talent, and treasure. And the church has been very generous with treasure. But as the number of priests goes down, well, we're going to have to start spreading the priest out thinner. Our next parish over, St. Columba, now Bishop John Bonici, he was moved down to Larchmont, where he is now pastor of 2 parishes. So one, he's got all of his bishop duties, but then after that, he's also pastor of 2 parishes. Father Chris Argano, who was the he was the vocations director, he moved up and he became the pastor of St. Mary's, but he also became the pastor of St. Columba's. So frequently what the church is doing right now, because of the priest shortage, is they are having priests take over 2 or even 3 parishes at a time. Now, this is not good news, and I want you to please pray for vocations to the priesthood. However, the good news here is that this means that lay people are going to really need to take ownership of their local parishes. And here, what I said in my homily was, I want everybody to pray, to prayerfully consider what gifts that God has given to them, what gifts God has given to you. All right, I'm speaking to people who weren't at Mass today. What gifts has God given to you, and how can you share that with the community? Just as we do with finances, God doesn't ask us to give everything, unless you're a Franciscan and then you give everything. But most of us are called to simply be generous with our gifts. So the rock foundation, the main purpose of a Catholic parish is Sunday Mass. And so what I'm asking everybody to do is be more attentive and more active in Mass. Keep up with the prayers, maybe follow the readings while they're being read. When we have songs, please sing. In terms of ministries, we are looking for more lectors, Eucharistic ministers, ushers. We're looking for people to help set up before Mass. We are looking, it would be really great if we had people who were greeters or hospitality people. People who can kind of keep the church in good condition. But there's a wider sense. We are all called to be active in Mass, and some of us are called to be active in specific ways. We are all called to pray, but some people have a particular charism or a calling, if you will, or gifts. And I know one parishioner, I said this to her one time. I said, she was telling me the different people she's praying for, and I said, you have a charism of intercessory prayer. Some people have a charism or a gift to sing, and we encourage them to join the choir. We need volunteers for our religious ed program, for the office, for cleaning up. When I got here, we had a full-time maintenance person, but we don't have enough money for a full-time maintenance person. So I do a fair amount of it, and we get parishioners to help with that. There are all kinds of things. People to visit the homeless, or people to just call. We need people to organize our volunteers. So there are so many things that need to be done in a Catholic parish so that it will be a fruitful and a growing parish. This is a wonderful time to open your heart. Ask God to just pour his love into your heart and to show you where you might be able to be more active, and you might be generous with your talents and your time. So again, Jesus is the first fruits. We are the body of Christ, and Jesus wants us all to be active in our church and to help to not only for us to grow in holiness, but he wants us to be evangelical. He wants us to be mission oriented. So, things to pray about. God bless you.